Roger. I'm being a little quiet because my nan is sleeping. I want to talk about a video I uploaded on my second channel. That's really successful right now. I posted a video on my second channel called Doors in Rooms Concepts. That's a minute and 17 seconds. And in just 13 hours, it's got 91 views, which is not bad. That's pretty good for my second channel. That's pretty good. You can go watch it yourself. I could put this in the description. I could put it in the description. But I wondered. Well, not wondered. I was gonna make, and today we're gonna make a tier list of all the concepts that are in the video and telling you what some of the concepts mechanics are, how they work, and how much I like their design or stuff like that. And if you've seen the video already, I will be including all Fogborn and crucified things. Well, I'm cutting all Fogborn modes, but I don't know. But you can go watch this video yourself. It'll be really good. So we're gonna make a tier list. And there is a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of concepts that I made. Some of them I did use like images of like other concepts, which I'm not trying to rob other people's concepts. I'm not trying to. But there are some concepts that you might recognize, like conjointment, anxiety, silence, depth, and I think that's about it. I guess effective figures. Some of them are like from the actual Doors Ideals wiki, so creds to that. Know that. But these will be including the doors, like the hotel, the rooms, which is with all the A- monsters in there. The mines on Fogborn variants, all being crucified variants, which there's only 4 of them, and all hardcore mode variants. So yeah, there is a lot. So here are the tiers. Really easy, which is, if they're very easy to deal with, and you can easily avoid them. Next we got simple, which is the rank above. Kind of the same thing, but they're just a little bit different, just a little bit more difficult. And now we have moderate, which is medium difficulty. They could be a bit challenging at first, but then you'll get the used of it. Then we got hard, which are the entities that are, well, hard to deal with. But then we have really hard, which are entities that are really tough to deal with. Yeah, those are all the tiers. I might make some more tiers though, because I did just take screenshots of the video that I made and put it in this tier list. I guess without further ado, let's get started. So, the first one is Observer. Now, Observer, I drew this one. God, I don't really know what Observer really do, actually. He would kind of act kind of like ambush, kinda, where he would like go back and forth like 3 or 5 times. But he would leave a trail of smoke when he goes. That does eventually go away. It's just a cool particle over him. And he goes really freaking slow. He doesn't really go as fast. He just kind of just goes very slow. But overall, that's pretty much all he does. He can go back and forth kind of like Ambush does. But he's pretty slow like Rush. He's really slow actually. But overall, I would say he's fairly simple to deal with. He's not too hard. Well, he's not really that hard. But he can be kind of a pain and all that because of how slow he is. Next up we got Glitcher. Now Glitcher is kind of a weird one. Once again, kind of like Ambush. Although this time he goes fast and he can actually make the lights. Well, he kind of makes the room kind of glitch out. Which, if it glitches out, you have to hide in a locker. Well, when the room starts glitching out, that lets you know he's gonna come. So you gotta hide in a locker. And then he's pretty damn fast. And he goes back and forth 4 or 6 times. Yeah. But overall, he's kind of just like Ambush. He gives you a warning kind of thing. He's pretty much just Ambush. I would say he's moderate. Because he's medium difficulty. Next up we got Watchers. Watchers is kind of like Eyes, kind of. It's pretty much just Eyes, so really easy. It's just an Eyes clone. That's all that is. Nocturne is this next one here, the green boy here. Nocturne's a weird one. They're all gonna be weird ones because I'm now just thinking of like what their mechanics are. I'm now just thinking about what they're trying to do. Okay, Nocturne would be kind of like Rush, kind of. And you would encounter him in like the courtyard area. You know what I mean. If you played Doors before, you know what I'm talking about. The courtyard area and all that. He would only go on the pathway, but to avoid him, you gotta get out of the pathway. You know, just don't be in the pathway area. That's going in the middle. Because he goes really damn fast, and he is... Yeah. He comes back once or twice. Rebounding like four times. But there is a rare chance of when he's doing it, he can actually get out of that pathway and go into the other sides. If he does that, you need to hide in a locker. But there will be like these little lockers that you would find like that greenhouse area later on indoors. It would be kind of like those, just scatter around just in case if he pops up. And yeah, when he does this, he'll eventually go away, and that's about it. So I would say he's also very simple to deal with. I kind of didn't really. I forgot how to talk. Hold up. I forgot to talk about how I like their designs. Observer is kind of goofy, but also kind of nice. Watchers is kind of it's just a bunch of eyes. Nocturne is supposed to be like kind of like a zombie kind of thing, with bloodied up teeth, kind of. And Glitchers is supposed to be like a very pinkish like glitch boy with glitch static all over him. Next up we got Hunger. Ooh, Hunger's a bit of a tough one. Now Hunger, he would kind of act like A60. Not the spam made one here, not the fan made one. Well, my interpretation of A60, what its mechanics are. This one would be kind of like, no, it wouldn't work like A60. I don't really know. He would just be really damn fast, and he will be... He doesn't go back and forth, he only goes once. And in each room when he goes past, the room turns into a very bloodish like red. To let you know that he's gone through there. And yeah, he's kind of like, I don't know. I really like how his design went. His design went pretty okay. Pretty good. He's got a mouth. Part of his head's missing and is replaced with a mouth. I don't really know why he was called Hunger though, but probably because he's always... Probably because of that, I don't know. And he's okay. Now, when it comes to difficulty, because he only goes, like, once, he doesn't rebound. But for how fast he is, it could be kind of hard to get in a locker in time if there's not one that, like, really close to you. Because as soon as you hear, like, a roar of him, hide immediately. No time to waste. You need to hide immediately. If not, he's gonna come fairly quickly. Yeah. So I would say he's gonna go up in hard. Just because of that. He'd be pretty difficult to deal with. I don't know. Next up we got Xenu. Now Xenu is the first one that actually has a crucified state. So I'll be ranking the crucified state too as well. Xenu's kind of a weird one. I don't really know how Xenu would really work. I'm stirring a lot. Crap. I really don't know. He will kind of act like Rebound from like Doors Hardcore mode. He would kind of act like Rebound. He would pretty much act like Rebound pretty much. And he doesn't really come up all that often. And I forgot that Hunger's a is a pretty rare one. Glitchers is not really that common. Observer's pretty common. Nocturne is sort of common. Of course, Watchers is kind of common. Since Watchers is just an Eyes clone. But Xenu, because he works like Rebound from like Doors Hardcore mode, where he will come in the next like 3 rooms, kind of like 4 rooms in a row, kind of like how Rebound works. And he would leave a trail small where you can't go in, or you're gonna get jump scared by him. I will put him in moderate. I don't know how that might be. I don't know about that placement. But I don't know. Next up we got Agony. Agony's kind of an unknown one. Agony's supposed to be... He appears in the greenhouse area. Well, he appears when Jack does his like little jump scare thing. Because I don't know if Jack can still do this, but he would have like a chance to turn the room dark and make it like a red room with like blood rain coming on the windows. I don't know if he could still do that. If not, then I might need to rethink how he works. But if that's still the case, then he would. Then every time when Jack does that, well, it might be implemented back. Because these concepts might not even make it to the full game. These are just fun little concepts. But if like Jack did his like rare jump scare thing, there would be a 6% chance for Agony to spawn. And when Agony spawns, he's fairly easy. Agony's kind of just like Rush, a very rare Russian though. A very Rush. What? A very rare Rush. There we go. So I'm gonna put him in simple. I don't know. Next up we got Malicious Rush. This is just a form of Rush, but it's a malicious form of them. Now, Malicious Rush and Malicious Ambush, I could actually go ahead and rank both of them. They're pretty much they pretty much act just like their regular counterparts, but they're just more aggressive. They're a little bit more quicker, and they're a little bit more quicker, and they're a little bit more dangerous. But that's pretty much it. So Rush, he's just a quicker version of himself, so I'll put him in simple. Ambush, because of this, Ambush would actually rebound instead of like 3 or 4 times, I think, I don't know. He would actually rebound 5 to 6 times. 5 or 6 times. That's a lot. So I'm putting Ambush in moderate because of that. Next up we got Suffering. I really like how it was designed one as well. Suffering, it was like a troll challenge I had on that bed. Because this was all made in Flip-A-Clip. Because I don't have any other animation like kind of software better than Flip-A-Clip. And I just like doing drawing stuff like that. But Suffering is supposed to be kind of like, he's not really an entity that goes back and forth. He's more of an Easter egg kind of character. He's more like a jump scare kind of entity, where there would be a very rare chance of him like coming very slow, kind of like all the other entities, kind of like Rush, but he actually will not kill you. He'll just go right past, because he's meant to kind of like startle you, kind of, but he's not really that common. He's pretty rare actually. So I'm gonna put him in really easy, because he's just more of a jump scare entity. Next up we got Grinder. Grinder's a weird one. Grinder will pretty much make the room meat. Well, he'll make the room into like a fleshy, like red color. Kind of make the room all fleshy, kinda. And that's to let you know, he's gonna come soon. Well, the room will briefly turn into a flesh, like, material color, and make it all, like, living and all that for just a brief second, and then it'll go away. And that'll let you know when Grinder's coming, because Grinder's supposed to be, like, a fleshy-like entity. Kinda like Hunger, but not really. But Grinder, he pretty much acts like Ambush. They both even look similar. So I'm gonna put him in moderate. So yeah. Next up we got Malware. You can't really see what his name is here, but his name's Malware. Malware is, once again, more of a jump scare entity than anything else, kind of like Suffering. But Malware will try and jump scare you. So, like, say when Glitchers is coming, like Glitcher right here. When Glitcher's coming, Malware can have a pretty rare chance of actually jump scaring you when Glitcher's coming, and when he does jump scare you, he won't take a lot of health from you, a lot of HP. Like, only like just a sliver. That's about it. But overall, really easy to deal with. Next up we got Creeper. Is this very creepy looking boy. Now Creeper is he kind of looks like Rush, but if he was like a little skinnier and a little bit more aggressive looking. But overall, once again, he's pretty much a more aggressive version of Rush. That's about it. And he can also kind of act like Jack too, because he can jump scare you in closets as well. So he can be a Rush and a Jack clone as well. So I'm gonna put him in simple because he's the Rush element. Now I'm gonna get back to Helpful Light later. No, actually no, screw it. Helpful Light is just another light clone that really likes to help you. You know, it's his name, Helpful Light. Kind of like Malicious Light and Curious Light. There's another one that's for rooms, but we'll get that later. But helpful light, just really easy. The light's going really easy because they're meant to just help and pop up every time you die. So yeah. Now we got silence. Silence. Oh boy, he's supposed to act. Now he's supposed. Every time when silence spawns in, the room will turn purple. Yeah, the room will turn purple, and he'll spawn in. And if he spawns in, he will he'll try to make you force. Never mind. If he does a whisper burst, then that means you have to look at him. No, never mind. It's just when silence pops up, and if he spawns, you need to get out of that room quick, because he kind of acts like Frostbite from Doors Hardcore mode. He kind of acts like Frostbite, where when he spawns in, he'll take damage. He'll take some damage, HP from you, not a whole lot. So I guess he'll be really, it's simple to deal with. Infected Figure is up next. It's just Figure, but infected with some little infection. I guess hard? I don't know. Anxiety's up next. Anxiety, he's one of my favorite kind of concepts from the Doors Ideals wiki. Now Anxiety, he would work kind of similar to what he actually, he would work kind of identical to what he does in the actual Doors Ideals wiki page, where he'll scream from behind you, and that's to let you know you need to hide, and then he'll come by, but the only difference is he'll rebound 2 or 4 times. That's about it. But I'm gonna put him in moderate. Next up is Seek Barrier. Now Seek Barrier is supposed to pop up when you're doing like a Seek chase. Seek Barrier will just kind of block away for you to go by. So really easy. Conjointment. Now conjointment in this universe with these concepts is the antagonist. He's supposed to be the main guy here. Now, conjointment is comprised of 2 entities. One, which is Composure, which is the one that has the glowing eye right there, and has the German-looking face. And then the other face, his name's Colin. And Colin is actually supposed to be based off of an image of Jacksepticeye. You could look at him on his wiki page of Doors Ideals wiki. But Composure, he would do a puzzle where you have to select the right door, and if you select the right door, you win. But if you select the wrong door, you take some damage, and you will eventually die if you picked enough wrong doors. But Composure's pretty simple to do, and Composure is pretty rare. Now Colin is a bit weird, because Colin, he's the more aggressive one out of the 2. He's the more aggressive brother. He would go really fast and rebound 6 to 7 or 8 times. That's a lot of rebounds. But that's pretty much what Colin is, and real interested. And there can be a chance for them to be both into one, which is conjointment. Them being into one, where Composure will pretty much do a hallucination effect, which will make your screen turn like a really bright purple or really bright pink for just 2 seconds, and then it'll go away. And then Colin just does his normal stuff. So that's pretty much conjointment. So I would say he would go in Well, if these two guys are active, like Composure's doing his puzzle and Colin's doing his thing, it can be really hard to deal with. So I'm putting him in hard. Okay. Oh, and now we're getting into the rooms concepts. We're getting into rooms territory now. Although we will go back to doors. We will go back there. It's just that we're doing rooms right now. So I believe this one is... I have the video just in case. If I do forget what concepts. A27 is this smiley fellow right there. A27 will kind of act just like Rush. He'll come from behind. Once, he's pretty slow and easy to deal with. So really easy to deal with. Now A127, right? Yeah. A-127. He will kind of act like the ambush of rooms, kind of. Where he'll rebound. Twice or 2 or 3 times, so I'll put him at moderate. Mirrors of Wisdom are up next. Now these guys aren't really a entity that can actually harm you, kinda like a lot of these guys. They're just meant to give you like some tips when you're in rooms. They're giving you some wise tips and helping you deal with that specific entity in the room, so they're just a helpful thing. Next up is A299. Kind of a creepy boy, but I don't know. Now this one is just supposed to stand still. Yeah. A-299 is supposed to kind of like... He spawns in the room. He's stationary. And you don't have to... He's pretty much just eyes, pretty much. Kind of like Watchers, but like the rooms are it's so easy. A-333. Biblically accurate number right there. A-333 is meant to be kind of a jump scare kind of entity. And also, these entities start spawning when you reach their specific door number, hence their names. A-333, he will mostly be a jump scare entity. That's about it. Yeah, so really easy. A-16. Now this one's a bit weird. This one's the earliest entity you'll encounter. I don't know why I put 2 Polters here though. Ignore that, I just accidentally put 2 Polters. So ignore that. But A-16 is supposed to just act... It's just a more slower variant of this one right here, A-27. So, really easy. Again, Joking Light is just another guy like Helpful Light. Except he kind of just jokes around with you. So once again, next up is A-581. The design is pretty simple. He's supposed to have like Mandela Catalog alternate looking eyes, but he's kind of like A200, like his brother. And he will act pretty much just like A200. So I'll put him in simple. Next up we got... Oh, actually... Let me rethink about A299's mechanic, because this next one's supposed to act more like eyes. So this one will pretty much be... Yeah, this one will be a more faster version of A200. Now this one, A-457. This one is just another eyes clone, but you have to look at it. And it can be kind of difficult sometimes, so simple. A-666. Another biblically accurate number right there. Now this is supposed to be more of like a demonic smiley face kinda, which is hence his name. Well, hence the name. But he's supposed to rebound. He's really fast, and he can rebound 4 to 5 times. That's about it. And let me stop the recording right there. Okay, I thought I heard somebody, but we're back. Back to A-666. It's pretty much... He's got like the DNA of A60, kinda. They both kind of look similar to each other. And fun fact, they're both related. But A-66 is a more weaker version of A60, but he can rebound a lot. So I'll put him in moderate. A-404, I think you know what this one will probably do. It's kind of a glitchy-like entity, hence its name, A-404. If you don't know why it's just another number, a funny number to reference. It's like an error number, like oh no, 404, this page didn't load, kind of like that. It's just the room's equivalent to like glitchers, pretty much. So he's gonna go right next to glitchers, right next to him. I'm not ranking them on how. Well, actually, yeah, I'm not ranking them on how good they're. Like, what better they're each other. I'm just ranking them in each thing. Next up, we got A-133. This one's just freaking weird. I really like the design of him. He's supposed to be, you know that one entity from, like, Interminable Rooms? You know, that Roblox Rooms games? Like, I think his name was, shit, I forgot his name. Crap. He would act like, kind of like that one A60 one that was, like, a little purplish. That one, he would act pretty much identical to him. So I would say simple? I don't know. Greg. It's just Greg. I'm joking. But Greg is a friendly entity and he gives you some nice items to get. Like every 10 rooms he'll appear. Like every 10 rooms his shop will appear and you can buy items to hopefully help you on your journey. So really easy. Man, a lot of these are really easy entities. That's not really good. I forgot what that one is called. So let me go ahead and look. A-39. This one would be this one would be also kind of a jump scare entity, kinda. He'll kind of act like Screech, kind of. Where he will just go, psst, and then you look around, he'll screech, he'll spook you, and then he'll go away. In dark rooms, he works pretty much the same. Except, every time when he screams at you, he's really not that common, thankfully. But when he screams at you, he does take a little bit of just a little sliver of damage every time. So overall, really easy. Next up is A-60. My version of him, okay? It's just, his design's just A-60, of course. But his mechanic is different. Well, this A-60's mechanics are different compared to his normal one. Can I get a drink real quick? He would kind of act like the ambush of rooms, kind of. Like, really fast entity that will rebound like that. But there can be a rare chance for him to go even faster and rebound even more. But that's very rare. So I'm putting him in moderate. Actually, no. Hard. I don't know. And the last entity in the room section is I think that's A179, I think? Right? Yeah, A-A179. That's his name. He's supposed to be, well, as you see here, a metallic robotic looking smiley face. And is stationary and will sometimes shoot out bombs that do explode but don't do a lot of damage. And you can avoid them very easily. And he's not really that common. So, I'll do simple. Alright, now we're in the mine section. We got Depp. Depp? I don't know how to pronounce it. But Depp. He pretty much acts the same as, like, Depp as he always did. So I'm gonna do moderate. Poulter. Now, I'm just gonna leave one Poulter behind, but you get what I mean. I'm gonna actually put this Poulter behind here. So that's just a copy, okay? And now Poulter, if you know him from his Doors Ideals wiki thing, he's pretty much just eyes. He's just a reverse eyes, where instead of not looking at him, you do have to look at him. If you don't look at him, you're gonna take damage. So really, actually no, simple entity because he's a little difficult. Next up, Rush and Ambush make their appearance again in the mines. This time, it's the distorted versions. The distorted versions are, well, the reason why. Actually, no, we'll get to that later when we get to Distorter here. We'll get to him later. But Distorted Rush is pretty much just Rush. These two are just Rush and Ambush, just normal Rush and Ambush. So it's just that they look kind of distorted and they're not their actual counterparts, and they're just being mind controlled by one of these entities that control the minds. So I'm going to put Rush in simple, and Ambush in moderate. So next up we got Flamethrower. Ooh. Oh, I like this guy a lot. He's supposed to act like Blaze from the Doors Ideals wiki. Well, kind of like he leaves a trail of fire behind. And he'll just leave a trail of fire behind where you have to avoid the fire when he's gone. When he stops rebounding, then you have to avoid his fire. It's overall kind of like an ambush, but afterwards you have to avoid his fire. So he's actually moderate. It's just like, next up we got Distorted Conjoinment. I don't know why I stuttered for that one. Yeah, Distorted Conjoinment. He kind of, once again, he just acts just like Conjoinment, so he's gonna go on the same tier as normal Conjoinment. Because he's just normal Conjoinment, it's just he's a more distorted looking look to him. Now we got the main honcho of this, the mines. And just, fun fact, this is not part of the video, but it actually did snow yesterday. So yeah, hooray, it did snow a lot. But anyway, back to the video. He's called Distorter. And Distorter, he's just the main guy. He's more of a lore kind of character than anything else. He does have a boss form, which you can defeat and he'll pretty much die. But Distorter is the reason why there's distorted versions of Rush, Ambush, and Conjoinment. He's pretty much the reason why. And now, Distorter, every time when a distorted version of a entity comes, there will be a little gift of like the Distorter laughing at you and telling you that a Distorter minion is going to be activated. That's pretty much it. He doesn't usually physically manifest himself. So really easy. But his boss form, on the other hand, is... Ooh, his boss is kind of difficult. He can do spikes, he can do all that. He's just a boss. Pretty much. A pretty difficult boss, in fact, so hard. Not really hard. I'm surprised no entity has gotten into the really hard section yet. But we'll get to that later. I don't really know. Yeah, okay. Now this is Dread. Now in the video I forgot to add like fan made because I know Dread is I think Dread's an actual entity indoors now. I think. I don't know yet, but he could. I don't know. But this Dread acts way differently compared to his, normal one. He looks in the mines and he will lurk out of the little cave tunnels and just kind of stalk you. And if you piss him off with like a flashlight, he'll come after you and damage you once, and then he'll go back. So don't piss him off. So he's really easy to deal with. And last one in the mines is Jock. I don't know. A very creepy, disturbing entity. That's okay. Fun fact about Jock. Jock. I don't know. You know the Happy Next Spot from Gmon, and you know the origins of the Happy Next Spot. You know the origins of it. That creepy ass video, which, good God, creeps me the fuck out. That's pretty much what his design's based off of, because it's just a haste, but it kind of looks similar to it. So I was like, I'm gonna make it kind of look like kind of the happy kind of thing. And it's more of a hallucination kind of entity where it will just jump scare you once with a laugh. Your screen will go black, and then he'll pop up. Just go really up close to the camera and just open his mouth up, but then he'll just go away. So it's just an entity that just freak you out and is really rare. So really easy to deal with. Actually, no, simple, because it can be kind of a pain if you're dealing with another entity and it's just blocking your screen. Alright, now we're back to doors. Or the hotel. Joker. Now Joker is manifested. He's pretty much manifested from Joking Light. Joking Light actually made himself manifest. Hence his name, Joker. Because he's supposed to like joke around with you. Like, and one time he'll like rebound like 3 or 4 times and he's not fast. But then the next time he'll be like really fast and he'll rebound 5 or 6 times. He's pretty much random each and every time he pops up. So moderate. Next up is the Force is the God, I forgot his name. The Foreseen. Yes. The Foreseen. This guy is once again more of a lore kind of character. And it's currently unknown what he is. It's unknown what he is. So we don't really know, but he's mostly a lore character, so really easy. He's more of a lore character. Next up we got Stopper. Now Stopper is pretty much just A90. It's just an A90 clone, but if A90 was on steroids and it came up more frequent, it was more annoying. Then you get Stopper. But Stopper, moderate. And now we got I think his name was Laughter. I'm pretty sure his name was Laughter. Yeah, Laughter. Which is the very creepy guy here. Laughter will be kind of like Rush. He's pretty much identical to Rush, but kind of a little bit more dangerous and a little bit more terrifying too. Because he'll make the room a little bit more darker than usual when he's gone. When the lights break, when he comes by, the room will actually become much more darker because it's covered in a black like smoke that he leaves behind, kind of like Rush does. Well, kind of like what Rush kind of has around him. So, overall, simple. Next up we got Fraud. Now, Fraud is supposed to be more like a mimic. Because he's supposed to mimic voices. Because I think some other guy, like, I think a guy on YouTube talked about, like, a concept that one entity would, like, mimic a voice behind you and you can't turn around and look at it. He pretty much works pretty much identical to that one. So, over that, pretty much simple. Brutality is up next. Brutality. I think you know why his name's Brutality, because he is brutal. He's a brutal entity. Hard. Not really hard, just hard. Oh, I actually don't know. Yeah, he'll go there. Because he doesn't give you any warning whatsoever. And he's very fast, but thankfully he's extremely rare of an entity. He's very fast, kind of like, what was his name again? I forgot. Was it Nocturne? I don't think it was Nocturne. I forgot what it was, though. Was it Glitchers? I don't know. But he'll just be extremely fast without any warning whatsoever. Oh no, I think it was Hunger. So he's kind of like he's pretty much a very more dangerous version of Hunger. But he'll still go on hard. Yeah, he'll still go on hard. Because he's extremely rare, the rarest entity. Out of all these entities, he's the most rarest. And if this guy came up a lot more commonly, he would easily, without a doubt, be in really hard. He would pretty much be impossible at that point. And kind of make it unfair. But since he's extremely rare to see him, he's got like a 1 in 1 million chance of spawning, which that's a very low chance of him spawning. But if he does spawn, you're pretty much fucked. You're fucked at that point if he spawns. But that's pretty much it. The Conductor is up next. The Conductor's pretty much once again, a lore character, if anything else. So he'll go right next to the Foreseen, because, well, the Conductor is mostly like the manager of the hotel. He's just the main manager. And he kind of works behind the scenes, so he's relatively unknown what his lore is, but he's the man behind the curtain, pretty much. He's the Conductor. Alright, now we're in the hardcore entities now. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 9 hardcore entities in total, which all these entities are entities that we've already looked at. So, yeah. Now next, well, the first one in the hardcore mode, which will come, hardcore mode would actually be be able to be turned on when you beat the actual game itself. When you actually beat it, then you'll actually have the chance to to activate hardcore mode, which is just doors but turn up to 11 with difficulty. But first one is Hard Conjointment. Now this one, actually no, I was gonna say he will go in really hard, but no, because he's just a more dangerous version of Conjointment. So same tier. Now Anxiety, on the other hand, Oh boy. Actually, no. Never mind. Never mind. Because one of the Fogborn entities are actually, one of the Fogborn modes are actually gonna manage to get up here. But this guy, once again, more harder version of Anxiety. Pretty much. Where did I put Anxiety at, by the way? Oh yeah, I put her moderate. So hard. I mean, it's just a hard version, so yeah, so they're all mostly gonna go in hard. Without Ambush, he's pretty much just Malicious Ambush. A hardcore Ambush is just Malicious Ambush. Although he rebounds a lot more. He just rebounds a lot more, that's about it. Hard Rush. Also, Hard Rush and Hard Ambush, they're supposed to have like demonic like horns. Like Rush just get the horns like going down. That's a really cool drawing technique that I usually do with my drawings. Hard Rush kind of has the same thing, although he's kind of like he kind of has like horns of like a moose or like a deer, kind of like a skinwalker kind of. I don't know, but Hard Rush, just again a harder version of Rush, just a malicious Rush, but much harder. Hard Fraud is up next. It's just Fraud, but he appears more frequently. And then sometimes he can be a pain in the ass, so moderate. Hard Stopper. Once again, kind of just like Fraud. Well, Hard Fraud. It's just Stopper, but he comes up more frequent. And he can really be an annoyance. So hard. Hard Infected Figure. Pretty much just hard. Just normal Infected Figure. Just harder. Hard Grinder. Again, just like Grinder, but harder. Same tier. Actually, yeah, upper here. Now for the last hardcore entity, we have Hard Silence. Now, Hard Silence, one thing that's different about him is that instead of purple lights, it is a reddish-like light. Well, it's a more white, a more dark purple-like color, kind of like a darker magenta kind of color or something like that. And he'll just do more damage in the same row of him. So overall, just a more harder version. Okay. Now we are getting into the Fogborn modes. Now, here are the Fogborn modes that are listed for these entities. Anxiety has a Fogborn mode. Conjointment's got a Fogborn mode. Polter has got a Fogborn mode. Flamethrower's got a Fogborn mode. And Laughter's got a Fogborn mode. Those are all the entities that actually have a Fogborn mode and can have their Fogborn modes active. And it's because the reason why sometimes they'll have become like a Fogborn variant is because of this motherfucker. Fogger. And Fogger is actually going into really hard. Not impossible, but really hard sometimes. Because there can be a chance where Fogger will actually warn you with a gust of wind to let you know he's coming. He's not too fast or anything like that. Actually, no, we're not putting him in really hard, actually. And I'm actually going to put Brutality in really hard. And I'm putting Fogger in moderate. But he causes these entities that I just listed to activate their Fogborn mode if that entity is also active. Because Fogger can be active during the hotel and the mines. Those are the only two places that he can be active, so he could be in the mines and the hotel. So let's start off with Anxiety's Fogborn mode. Anxiety's Fogborn mode is a bit mysterious. Now, all these Fogborn modes, when they do eventually go away, they'll make the room foggy. Like it's like the lights don't break, but they make the room very foggy. It makes them, it turns that room into a fog room. Fog rooms are just rooms that are just covered in fog. That's about it. But it can make you hallucinate. But it'll make them, it makes certain entities like, crap, I don't really know. I really don't really know. It kind of makes them, like silence, or like, Julk appear more often. It makes these two chances of appearing more often. But the entity self, they're just kind of like hardcore versions of themselves, but not really. But hardcore anxiety will actually go in the same tier as normal anxiety. It's just a more aggressive version that can rebound a little bit more. Now, Fogborn conjointment is going in really hard. The reason why is when Fogger can have once again, an extremely rare chance of when conjointment's active, and when Fogger's active, there's an extremely rare chance for Fogger to make him turn into his Fogborn mode. When conjointment turns into his Fogborn mode, you're pretty much fucked, kind of like brutality is. You're pretty much fucked at that point. Because Colin is so much faster and he rebounds so much, kind of making him extremely hard to deal with. And with Composure, the doors are unlabeled and the room's foggy. So he's going in really hard because of Colin. Next up, we got Fogborn, the Fogborn mode for Poulter. This pretty much makes Poulter's damage do a little bit more, and plus he can blend in with the fog and actually kind of make you unnerved with a new, because it will actually kind of make you feel uneasy, like you're being watched, which makes your screen kind of like you're kind of scared, or like you have anxiety. I'm not talking about anxiety of the entity, I'm talking about like you have an anxiety. It makes you kind of anxious, which makes you kind of slower. But overall, he's just Poulter, but just a little more dangerous. So, AccuModerate. Now, I can't say the same for Fogborn, or the Fogborn mode for Flamethrower. Oh god, I think out of all the Fogborn modes, the Fogborn mode for Flamethrower is actually, yeah, you get to see a better look at him. Flamethrower's Fogborn mode is probably the most disturbing look, probably the creepiest looking one, because his fires are not as dangerous, and he becomes consumed with the fog, and it kind of makes him a completely different entity in itself. But it's still technically Flamethrower, but he'll leave a reddish-like fog. The room will still be covered in white fog, but there can be like some parts of his like trail of like red fog that he leaves behind, which can actually do damage to you if you just stay in it for too long. So I'll actually put him in hard. Yeah, because he's one of the more creepy entities here. One of the more creepier ones. Now the last Fogborn mode we have is Laughter. The Fogborn mode for Laughter. This one's a bit weird, because it's just laughter, but it makes him more wild. So he's going in the same tier. So now we have all the crucified versions. Now these are the entities that you can crucify and can actually be crucified. And those entities are Xenu, Anxiety, Conjointment, and Dep. Those are the only entities you can crucify, by the way. You can't crucify any other entity? Well, you can actually. You can, but I just didn't want to make a crucified picture for every single entity, because that can get kind of repetitive, so I just did a crucified kind of like stick for these guys. But I would have made one for every single entity, but I just didn't want to do that because I'm kind of lazy. But these are the ones that you do know. But now I'm having a hard time trying to talk today. Now Xenu, when you crucify him, once again, Xenu is kind of like Rebound. When you crucify him, it doesn't really do all that much, because when you crucify that entity, the entity will actually never come back ever again. Like, it disables them for the rest of the game. That actually might be a bit too overpowered, actually. But the crucifix would be extremely rare. Extremely rare, like a 1% chance of the crucifix being found in drawers. That's the only place you can find them, in drawers, and it's extremely rare. And it will just disable that entity when you crucify them. It will just disable that entity, period, for the rest of the game you're alive. But when you do it to Xenu, it doesn't really do all that much. I guess it just makes it less annoying, so we're putting... Actually, no. All of these go in really easy, because it's just them in a crucified state. But I will explain all of them, and how good they can actually be. Now, Anxiety, when you crucify him, Anxiety can actually... When you actually crucify Anxiety, he'll give you a special item. Kind of like what that old radar item did in like the Hotel Plus update for doors, when you beat the rooms. You know what I'm talking about? Which reveals you some items. The item that he'll give you when you crucify him will do kind of the same thing. But when Xenu gets crucified, he'll actually give you a item where you can actually skip to the next room. It's kind of a useless item, but you can just skip to the next room if you're lazy. If you're a lazy one, then that's really gonna be kind of like your item. It'll just make you skip the next 3 rooms. And when you Conjointment, when you crucify him, it can actually really help you a lot, because he can give you 2 items that are really good for progression. They're not a requirement. All these items that they give you are not a requirement, but they're just really nice little bonus items that can really break the game for how rare the crucifix is. Now the first item he'll give you will be Super Sprint, and Colin drops that item when he gets crucified. It'll make you go super fast. It's like a super jacked version of like the vitamins. It'll make you go very fast. Not really. Well, no. It'll make you go really fast. Hopefully not too fast, but I don't know. You gotta be a little careful when you're going too fast. It'll pretty much make a Seek chase really easy. Hence why it's a bonus item. Now Composure, his item is the Tricker. The doll Tricker of the Voodoo Doll of Trickery is what it would be called. And it'll pretty much trick any entity to actually it actually will freeze the entity in place because they're being confused and, or actually, fun fact, they'll actually be, in the lore, they'll actually be coming into the exact same puzzle dimension, the exact same puzzle room that Composure would do to you. And it'll pretty much give you more time. It's just like the normal crucifix, but it's pretty much just the normal crucifix. Kinda. That's pretty much it. And now when you crucify Depp, he'll give you the item of Frost. The Frostburn the Frostburn of Speed is what I'm going to be calling it. And it'll pretty much make you freeze an entity. It'll freeze a entity more like they're being frozen. But just for a short period, they'll break out of the ice eventually and go back to what they were doing with you. So you still gotta hide it and use it wisely. But in this like universe, in this concept thing, Depp is supposed to be made out of like a snowish, like ice kind of material. Kind of like Frost. Like he's like a ghostly frost kind of being. Like he's made out of ice and frost. So yeah, and this is just an extra polter, so I'm not gonna count that. But there you go. That was my doors and rooms concepts tier list. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. You can subscribe if you want. If you don't, that's okay with me. It'll be really appreciated though. My goal is to reach 100 subscribers because I do a special video though. And don't miss out on my community posts. It'll be really helpful. And go watch my second channel if you want to. It'll be really appreciated because I'll put that video. I'll put the doors and rooms concepts video in the description so you can go in and watch it. It's doing really good. But I just want to do a tier list and give you more insight on what each and every entity can do and how hard they can be. So hopefully this is just some really cool concepts that maybe Elsplash might want to add in the future. Most likely not, but it'll be pretty funny if that would be. It would have been really cool. It'll actually be really cool if they actually do use one of my concepts here. Like Nocturne or something like that. But I'm Mr. Broach, and I'll see you next time.